Facebook, and we should be on YouTube. So let's get back to this screen here and say hello to everybody. Welcome to another edition of PPD on Tuesday nights. This is the first day of July 2025, and we have two brand new sequences that we've added to the store via the PPD Club Monthly setup. We've got a contest we do every single month. It's called Guess the Sequence Contest, and for July we pulled a pretty terrific song. I hope everybody agrees. It's it's definitely not the standard song that I would generally pick for a monthly sequence, but I think everybody might be a little bit surprised because of that. But I think you are going to enjoy it because it certainly was a real treat to sequence. So what I want to do is I want to tell you about the Guess the Sequence contest before we get into the webinar tonight, because somebody posted last week when we went and did the live contest from when we did the live contest for Guess the Round Trip Mileage when we went up to the New York Mini. I got a comment on the post or on the video saying it would have been nice if you told us what the contest was about. So that's what I'm going to do. Every month PPD does a Guess the Sequence contest. You don't have to be a PPD club member to join us. You don't have to do anything special or crazy. All you have to do is just listen to the 3 hints that I'll give you every at the end of the month. We always do 3 different guesses, 3 different days, and basically we try to make it a little bit of fun to see if you can guess the sequence. And so what happens if you guess the sequence correctly is you get entered into a prize drawing, which we're going to draw here pretty soon. And if you were watching last week when we went live, we drew a Guess the Mileage contest winner, and they won a set 200 pixels from Easy RGB, one of our affiliates, and then they also won a free PPD sequence pro layout. And so I wanted to point that out ahead of time. So when you see these contests, there's no pay to play in the Guess the Monthly sequence and stuff like that. So this is just all in good fun. What we do, I'll give you 3 hints. We have an official post. This was the official post. I had no idea that I didn't realize I didn't put 2 and 2 together that the snowman was on the image, but the song this month is Sia Snowman, sung by Sia. I know it's a really short name, but I'll take you over to the PPD Triple Play page. We have 3 songs in the store for the club members, so if you are new to the club, these are your 3 monthly sequences. One of these 3 you can choose from. If you like them all, you can pick the other 2 up for 50% off. You can always buy them for 50% off, unless you've already purchased them in the past, and therefore you don't need to. This is John Cougar Mellencamp. It's not Cougar anymore, but John Mellencamp, Rockin' in the USA, ROCK in the USA, Sia Snowman, and Walker Hayes, Fancy Like Christmas, which actually was a pretty terrific song. It was very popular when we ran it in the past. So there's your choices for your monthly. We're still running our Christmas advertisement, Pack 6, Drummer Boy School of Music. And we also have a Twinkling Traditions, and this Twinkling Traditions is nothing more than a very nice, staticky looking show that is about 1.5 minutes long. You can copy and paste it and make it as long as you want the thing to be, or you can just repeat it in your scheduler. But you don't have to map every single effect over. If you just want to turn on your lights, let's say it's 10:30 p.m. and you just want to turn something on and have a couple different colors, you can map one of the Twinkling Traditions in, and these are perfect for doing a static show at the end of the night with just some organic movement and some nice colors and different themes. So this month's theme is Tropical Twilight. So we hope you enjoy it. PPD Club members get 50% off of those. PPD Club members get 50% off of the intro and bumper add-on for the month. And then also PPD Club members can upgrade any of the monthly sequences from Pro to the Pro layout for $10. If you have moving heads and you need that edition as well, those are 50% off for the month. So these are the 3 that we have available. All right. The last thing I want to say is some of you guys may forget. Sometimes I forget to update them. I get a week behind or something. But there's new presets up on the website. If you didn't pick up last month's or the months before, I left them up there for you. So you'll want to get those by next week. We'll have another one up there for you. But yeah, go get you some presets. And I think it's time now let's do some name picking, because we have what we call, well, here I'll show you. We'll go to our affiliates page under our About Us page. These are our PPD affiliates, the people that we think very highly of. They've worked with us doing many different things. And so tonight what we're going to do is we're going to do a giveaway for two $50 gift cards to our affiliate. And he might not be pictured on here. And that is Ryan from Wally's Lights. So two $50 gift cards are going out from Ryan at Wally's Lights. And so we need to pick two winners. And if you will, if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, please go ahead and post the name of the winner. That way they know they won, or at least it'll be in the comments so people can find it very quickly. So let's go ahead and spin and find out who is going to win one of two gift cards. Looks like Mr. Brad Lunar. I was just thinking about Brad. Congratulations, Brad. And we'll go ahead and give it another spin here. Now, if you play the Guess the Sequence contest and you guess multiple times correctly in the 3 days, your name gets put down for one guess each single day. And it looks like Mr. Handyman Dan, who's probably in the room. Congratulations, Handyman. You guys are our winners. So we will go ahead and close this out. And I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I actually need that. Where's it's my little spreadsheet of all the little things in Colorland that we've been updated on over the past few years. And that's what I want to get into in tonight's class is let's talk about the color palette and some of the advancements, the updates, the things that we've seen. There's one thing that I don't exactly understand how to go about doing, but one of the things that I recognized right away whenever I opened up the new version, when I installed and started using the new version of X-Lights, was the missing, there's two missing buttons. There was an update button that looked kind of like this update button here under the color palette, which I sorely miss. I really like that button. It was a dedicated button for me updating a bunch of things all at one time. And then there was also a little save icon, a little disc. It was a mini version of the save icon right up here at the top of the screen. And oh, I guess I better change my screen for the people on YouTube. There we go. Okay, so to begin with, as I was saying, there used to be a little disc right up here at the top of the screen, and right here used to be an update button. Between those two changes, that's the major physical look that is different. But I'm going to go back in time and I'm going to go through a number of other changes that we've seen probably over the past 2 or 3 years that aren't in the old video that I did back in 2022 or 2021 on the color palettes. And we're going to get into a couple more things other than color palettes. We're going to talk about things like the color curve. We're going to talk about saving color palettes. We're going to talk about actually getting into your folder, and I want to show you, looking at your folder, the kind of things that you can, how you can organize them in your folder. But for the most part, color palettes are very, very simple to deal with. The first thing I want to mention is this right here. This here is the color picker, and this little color picker is a gem. I will say that whenever you have very few colors that are already in your color palettes, and your color palettes are actually located, give me just a second here, I should have this ready. Testing and color curves, there we go. Okay, so here, let's close this up because I don't want to get distracted with anything. So here is an Xlights layout folder, and you have a couple different files that are created when Xlights creates a new layout, or whenever you have your Xlights layout. There's some folders in here, and this one here is palettes. And if you can see here, this one says palette PAL001. So Xlights comes with a number of default colors, and those default colors are this blue palette, the Xlights default palette, the green, this wonderful Halloween palette. Here's an orange, a pink, a purple, and you notice that it actually shows you the name of the palette, and as you hover over it, that little tooltip is really nice. That was added. Now, I appreciate the work that the developers do in putting into this, because one of the reasons that these color palettes were added into Xlights was because of Robert, who is colorblind. And when we were working in Zoom one night and we were trying to do something, and I said, boy, it'd really be nice to be able to label my color palettes with the names of the colors, so Rob could just hover over them and he could pick them out without having to worry about did he pick the right color palette. And they looked at the colors that I had selected with these shades, and they added them into Xlights. So now everybody has this basic layout color palette with all the solid colors. And then somebody else added this Halloween palette. This was always the Xlights default color palette. And then they added this one here too, this RGBW. This one has color curves on it. So when you save a color palette, and this one here for sure is a saved color palette, which I'm going to show you how I built it here in a minute. Whenever you save a color palette, that's exactly what happens, is it gets saved into your actual palette directory. But the bulk default ones that we already saw, those are saved in your Xlights main install folder. So Xlights always populates those for you. You never have to worry about adding them. If you have multiple layouts or change your layout, it will always create them. If you make custom color palettes, it's super simple to copy and paste this and put it in another folder. And there was a question last week, and Stephen asked a good question last week. Could I share some of the color palettes? One of the downsides to having a lot of color palettes is it makes this list here, this color picker list, exceedingly long. And the bigger and longer this list is, the more color palettes you physically have here, the slower that your actual movement of this dialogue is, and the slower it is to scroll up and down. And the reason why it does that is, I don't know exactly the reason why. It's a developer. It's a self-inflicted wound. I asked Keith if he would. There was a limit. There was a finite limit to the number of colors that would show up here in this box, this color picker box. There was a finite number set at 200, and Keith, whenever I mentioned to him, hey, I'm missing half the colors that are in my color palette drop down, they're not showing up over here. And he said, well, of course, there's only 200. He said, I don't know what will happen if I expand that. It could affect just how things work with the color palettes. So he says, I put it in there. I don't know what's going to happen. Have fun with it. So I have a ton of color palettes, but let me tell you, moving this box around or scrolling on it is painful. So I prefer, whenever I sequence, I like to keep it up here at the top. If I keep it up here, I get a much broader view of things. I can scroll through them. I don't have to scroll lots of little blocks in a skinny setup, kind of like this. Like I would do like this, right? Whoop, not like that. Like this, like that, right there. This is painful to scroll through them all. This color dropper box is incredible, because if you use colors from different color palettes, without you can scroll through this list and you can physically grab these. And let's say you're working in the blue color palette, right? And let's say you have a green color that you want to add in as well. You can physically grab with your mouse and bring it over and occupy one of the unused or unneeded colors. You can occupy it. Now, this color dropper box is populated because of all of these saved palettes, all of the available ones. This is all default. The only one that is new is this one that says palette 1, which is the first one on the list. Oh, doggone it. Here we go. That would be this one right here. So that's color palette 1. Now you can open a X palette file and you can read this. So let's open with Notepad. And when we open this with Notepad, let me close on all the other stuff. Don't save. There we go. This is what it looks like. Palette 00, PAL001 X palette is the name of the file, and these are the actual physical numerical numbers and letters that create the color palette that is known as PAL1. And that would be, if we move this out of the way here, that would be this first line right here. So you can create a file, a text file, and save it as a .xpalette file. You can save it as one of these using Notepad. And this was the old way that you could do this. Now the downside to doing this is Xlights, whenever you click the save button, there used to be a little save icon, it would create this automatically and you couldn't change the name of it. Well, so with this new combo box that's been added, you should be able to, I thought you were able to change the name. There was some sort of an update. I think it works in Mac. Maybe it doesn't work in Windows. I'm not worried about it though. But that's why I wanted to show you about this, because you could come in here and you could do File Save As, and you could save this as another name. It's going into our color curve. It's under palettes here, we'll say. And we could call this Winter. And what that does is that changes the name to Winter. Hopefully I didn't screw this up there. There we go. There's the Winter color palette. Now, the downside of putting this palette in here this way is that if you put it in the file folder, you have to close Xlights, file, close, and we'll discard changes, and we'll have to reopen up another version. Might take a second. And it's opening up on the other screen. Just give it just a moment. And then we'll go over here. We'll open up. Oh, wait, no. We're not opening. We're creating a new sequence, animation, and done. And I'll put a timing mark down here. And now we have our color palette box back open. And we should see it might not have. Maybe, did I put it in the right folder? I might not have put it in the right folder. I think I did put it in the wrong folder. Copy. Let's do another. Let's do this again. Because it went in the... yeah, it should be in there. Yeah, that should be exactly where it's getting. Cancel that. Now, maybe it's overwritten because we duplicated. Oh, I know why. Ha! Because I saved it as xpalette.txt. How about I delete that? Yes, that's definitely going to change it. So now we'll have to close Xlights because I don't think it's gonna bring it back up again. Yeah, give me a second. Discard changes. Open up another version of Xlights. A couple seconds. New animation done. And here we go. And it should be here, but it's not. Unfortunately, that I'm not sure exactly what is going on there, but cannot find OneDrive website. xpalette.txt close. That's fine. I probably should have saved it as a different file on All right. Well, unfortunately, that side isn't working for me very well, but that's okay. There's plenty of other things to show you. As far as that's the old way. That's actually the old way. Was to create a color palette. I would create a color palette here. If I wanted to, you can change colors in here. Basically, to change a color, all you would have to do is click on any of the color blocks. You could select some predefined color selections that Windows creates, and then from this point here, you could define a custom color, and that's what all these little blocks down here will do, is gives you a place to define them. So if you were looking for, let's say, a green color, this here is a green 255 green with 0 red and 0 blue. That's a true green, or what we typically would sequence as the green pixel in your light show. But if we wanted something kind of turquoise or 50s turquoise, like 57 Chevy, we'll say, and you wanted this, and this was a color that you wanted to use frequently, you could add this to your custom color here. Then you would select it, and then you click OK, and then you would bring it in. And so when you bring it in, that gives you the option to create multiple custom color palettes on your own. Earlier I did something with, and I'm sure y'all know I use a little bit of ChatGTP, and one of the things that I like to do with ChatGTP is I like to find colors to come up with. And one of the things that I just went in with a simple prompt, nothing crazy. Well, actually, we could use this month's example. We could do, we're sequencing, see a snowman. What color, what 6 colors would you suggest make this come to life? Question mark. And then also what I would put in here, please list using numbers, not the RGB code. Also list only the numbers with a comma between them. Let's see how good ChatGTP does for us. One of the things I love about ChatGTP. So it didn't tell me anything about them. It just gave me a random list of colors. Now I'm going to select it, and I'm going to hit Control C and copy it. Now, I'm always polite to ChatGPT. Of course, here's what each of these color hex codes represent. One is pure white, like snow. One is a light blue, soft winter sky. A different sky blue, a powder blue, a floral white, a dark gray. Okay, so that's what it came up with for us. But what we did was we asked it to give us a color palette with all of the numbers and a comma in between it. And this is what we'll do now. This is one of the new additions into X-Lights. What you can do is you can import a palette. And so I'll just hit Control V, that pastes it in there. And if I hit OK, it's going to import these colors in. And it left the last 2 alone because we only asked for 6 colors. So Chat gave us pure white, that's the first one. A light blue for a soft winter sky, a sky blue for a crisp color, a powder blue, another floral white. It's not exactly white, it has a hint of red in it. I don't know if that comes out to you guys. And then gray for dark gray for shadows or a hat or a scarf or details. So those are the colors that it came up with, and you can see now that it's really super easy to bring some of these colors in. And you can be creative. I just showed you using AI, you can come up with your own color. If you're new to coming up with colors and stuff, this is one thing that you can do to help kind of come up with those ideas of colors. Now, I want to move on to, now we showed you the color picker, and now that we have that color picker in here, I don't know if this is going to happen right away. We'll see if it does. But I'm going to go ahead and save this. This combo box here allows us to save the palette, and hopefully it saved it as, there it is, palette 02. with the pink and the turquoise there. And so if we were to close maybe and open, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. Let's see. We want to see if it brought in those colors. I don't think it did. If we closed X lights, this box would update with those new palettes that were added, and those colors would then be available if you're sequencing another song for you to grab anytime you would have, let's say, any other color palette. You could say, oh, I want that blue that I used for that other song, or I want that green that came out for that other song. So a little bit of creativity that you can use to apply to your sequences or to things that you're working on, or if you're trying to match colors. Don't think, another thing too, don't think that that every color that you actually come out with is actually going to revert out to the yard or the display the exact same as you see it there. There is some lost in translation. If you do a lot of whites and yellows or bright browns or light browns or oranges, sometimes those colors, you have to tweak them if you're going for a very particular look. But for the most part, the blues, the greens, the reds, the pinks, the purples, most of the purples, some of the purples, those will come out very nicely for you. So have fun with that. It's definitely a lot of fun to mess around with. So let me bring back the color palette. And next what I want to do, and I'll pop this up here real quick, this is a color curve. Color curves have been were created, I want to say 2018, 2017-ish, and they're very, very useful whenever you're doing some different things. X-Lights has developed a few of these color curves that are like the color palettes. They're default in X-Lights. This one here is a rainbow. This one here is a gradient blend from green to red. You have a green to white to red, a different rainbow palette type, whereas the first one has red, yellow, which creates orange, green to turquoise to blue to pink. And this one here is a little different. It has purple in it. It has orange in it. It doesn't have the turquoise in it. And so the color balance between these two, you can see, is quite different, but it adds to your flair that you're going for whenever you're sequencing. Here is the reverse of the green and red. This is red and green. There's the green and red. And then over here you have a red, green, and white, whereas you had a green, white, and red. And then you also have this one here, which is white, red, and then green. Just predetermined ones. Now, if you wanted to, you could really have a lot of fun with changing these out. And this is where some of the things that I've already showed you in setting up and defining your custom colors, which, by the way, thanks to Scott, he kept a persistent custom color across dialog boxes, and he also set it up so that X-Lights would remember these custom colors when you closed and reopened. So if you use these frequently and you kind of go towards the same colors sometimes, one of the things that I find, like I will do, is I will say, oh, I'm using this half for one sequence and I'm using this half for another. I might do over here, I might define a couple pinks and purples, and I might add that to my custom color there, and then I might select that same number or that same set, the hue set or the RGB set, and I might go back to that. I might want to get something a little bit closer to it, but get a different hue of it, and I can add a different color to it. If you hit the button a couple of times, it will duplicate it forward or to the right. And if you change one of them there, let's say that, and then add that, it will change it as you go. So if you start here with this one, and then you add that to your custom color, and then you change it here, you can add another one, and it puts it in the next box. And if you're building a very specific palette, you can do that here individually, just by clicking on the screen, and it will advance through for them. So I find this very helpful whenever I'm really, like, that's Easter colors right there, that's pastel. I don't know what I'm grabbing. So, and the other thing, again, take it with a grain of salt. Is it going to come out the way you think it is? It may or may not. You might have to go back and edit it. but hopefully you should have, after a while of being very specific with colors, I've learned which ones really work good and which ones I should probably not use again, or if I use them in different contrasts. So in any event, you can select any of those colors that you make as a custom color down here as a color that adds in to your color curve. If you want to go from a white to a blue, then to a lighter blue, and then you want to, if you can just double click anywhere on the screen here to open up this color block, and then you could run it just into this, and then you got the little end piece here. To change one, you just double click on it, and let's say you want it to fade out at the end. So this is a way to have a natural fade out for, let's say, and if you make a mistake, you put one in there too many, you can select it and hit the delete key, and it takes it out. And then you can play this, put this on a sequence. So the on effect natively. Now I don't know which. We have some Halloween props here. Probably better go in here and follow our old lesson from last year, or last 2 weeks ago. Bulk edit, pixel size, and let's go to 6. So you should be able to see that. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. But as you can see the color as it travels. It curves, or it travels from the left to the right. And it starts out with a white, then goes to turquoise, and the turquoise eventually turns to that lighter blue, or that different version of blue. And then as it travels through that other version of blue, then it goes to natural blue, which is the RGB value with 255 on it. And then it eventually travels to the end of the color, which is black. Now, if you wanted the fade out to be a little bit longer, you would just move this over this way. And you can see the finite ending of where the color is curving between these two. And by the way, this is the blend mode called gradient. And it's not the only blend mode. So I'll go ahead and click OK here. Almost hit load there. I'll show you that in a second. So this is your color curve. We kind of went through it once, but you can see how you can adjust it to fit certain timings if that's what you're going for. I find this very, very helpful. You'll notice here, if I put, let's say, timing mark, timing mark, timing mark, timing mark, if we click on this again, and wherever this effect is centered over, and we right click, and you can see now, those are all the timing marks. So if you wanted the colors to hit at exactly a specific moment, you could line them up with exactly where you want them to start and end. Another way that you could potentially look forward at this is maybe you want a solid blue, you don't want this gradient. You could change the blend mode from gradient to none. And if we do this, you can see, oh, here's white, and now we have a block of blue, and now we have this other blue, and then we have this solid blue, and then we have the black at the end. Now, is that useful? I don't know. It might be. But then there's also this one called random. And what random does is it takes the two colors, and whatever's between those two colors, it takes and randomizes the color of the comparison between the two. So here is this one blue and this other blue, and it's randomizing them all together. So here's this blue, and it's randomizing them here, and then you've got this here. So if we click OK, you can kind of see what this does. This kind of gives you, it's perfect for that little radiation symbol where it's flickering kind of different colors. Maybe that's a good candle effect. I don't know, but that's something that is available whenever you use the color curve. And then the last thing I want to show you with the gradient is building a color curve with multiple versions of the same color, so that so I just duplicated the color there, but at this beat I want it to change from that to this. And so maybe I want that beat from there to have this blue in it, and so it's this solid color. And then maybe from this beat to this beat here, I want it to be this blue. I can click there, and then from here to here at the end is all black. And we can click OK, and now you can see that you've changed the color curve again, where you've solidified it. And as it goes past those, as it goes past those timing marks, we set it to change and then change again. One thing we didn't do was we didn't add the white. So if we add white, We just and to add these, all we're doing is we're just double clicking anywhere up here, and then it brings up the color palette box for us. If you put one too many down, you can always hit the delete key. But yeah, very simple to use, effective if that's something that you need to use. I find it very helpful. I do a lot of fun stuff with colors whenever I use the color curve. And the benefit to this is that this is kind of like the color wash. In X-Lights we have this effect called the color wash. And what color wash does, if I put it down here, is color wash allows you to put certain colors on the color palette and just select them out. There we go. And the color curve does exactly the color curve does exactly the same thing the color wash does. Is it shows everything that you've selected for it. And then if we just put another color wash down, give me just a second. If we put another color wash down here, and we just select the color curve on the color wash, which is this is the same effect as the other one. These are the same color wash effects. You can see that it translates that exact color to the color wash, just as if it was individually selected with all the checkboxes there. So is that helpful? Absolutely. There's some fun that you can have with different props by using color curves. And inside this little kind of checkbox down underneath of the little lock underneath of the color curve, that will give you some different options on how to display the colors that are defined in your color curve. And this is a lot of fun to play with. This is a whole lot of fun to play with. So there's one way to portray the colors with outer is white, and it's taking the white one on the outer. Here, we'll open this up. So you see the whites on the outer, and then as you move in, you have that turquoise. Then you have this light blue the further in you go, and then here's the blue, and then the very center would be black. Now, I don't know if there's anything. I don't think there's anything else in the center of that for it to display onto. Oh, there is. So if we were to change this to something like red, and we were to delete this, and we click OK. Now the center is red, but you see how it's fading out there between, there's the blue, fade out, and then to red. And so there's just one interesting thing that you can do with effects that, you can literally sequence an effect. Here, I'll even show you. I'll insert a layer above, I'll put a pinwheel over top, and we'll put black on the pinwheel, and we'll make it thick. This is layer blending 101. So there you go. You got an interesting spinner effect for something just by using some different colors and using the functions that are built into the color curve. Now, the thing that I absolutely loved the most about the two buttons that were here is I was used to them. And the one thing that I want to mention now is that if you use the update palettes button, let me change this to something completely different. Let me go over here. We'll grab the basic color palette, and I'm going to just place a couple different colors down, or different effects down. Pinwheel. Do this a little thicker so you can see it. Not that that's important. And garland. We'll do garland. So there's garland on that effect or on that prop, and it's using different colors. And let's say you're done putting your colors on and you're like, nope, I want these to all use the same colors. There used to be an update button that would update these automatically. Now it's go in, click this first, and then you have to hit update palette again. And when you do, now everything has that shared color. So the on effect only displays yellow and pink, but it only displays the yellow. You have yellow and pink here for the pinwheel that was on the spider, and then on this little Tesla tower thing, you have pink and yellow where the colors have been updated. One of the things, we can Control Z, and that will undo those changes. One of the things that I realized I needed to do really quickly, because I was missing my color update button, was I needed to come up with a key binding to figure out how I was going to use a key binding or a shortcut key instead of having to move my mouse twice and click the mouse twice. I know it's kind of silly, but I wanted to have a color update button, and I think, let's see, it should be somewhere around here. Color update right here. So this is built in, and yours may be different than mine. But I believe that I have the control key activated, I have the shift key activated, and the letter C key. So if I want to, all I have to do to update the colors in this specific color set, let's say it's, let's change this from this here. Let's do this to the color wash, because then you can see it. So there's a color wash. There it's red and turquoise. So it's going to change red to turquoise. What you can do, if you want all of these to be red and turquoise, you can select them all, and I'm going to use the keyboard to do this. Shift, Control, and C, and that should update all of those effects. And I do find this ridiculously helpful, just because I don't want to have to go through the double clicking of the buttons. So yeah, you should be able to do a lot more stuff with the new functions that are in X-Lights whenever it comes to the color palette and being able to be creative with doing different things in color. And the last thing I want to talk about is some of the abilities that were added in X-Lights. And we've kind of already talked about these. This is Daryl Irwin. He added the ability to import color palettes. That's the new user interface interchange or change out. That's this button here, this combo button. G Strike, he added optionally use color palette in candle effect. So if we this is and I just looked up all of these earlier. So, but I thought it was important to kind of mention some of these things, because if you are using different colors for different things, you could use the color palette here now with the candle effect. If you were trying to go with a some sort of blue or something, or a yellow and orange, or a green and a turquoise, you could use now the colors in the color, use the color palette in order to affect the candle effect if you were using that. This is very fun to play with. I do like playing with the candle effect. So that was a nice little addition. Another addition was, let's see, colorize the X, Y, Z coordinates. Now, I know this isn't in sequencing, but whenever we go back to the layout tab and we look at one of the props, we'll say, if we go into the size and location, they added this color here so it would stand out. So the X is on the X axis, the Y is green, and the Z is blue. And why is that important? Because whenever you go in 3D and you click on them, now you can understand, you can translate, oh, the X is red, that's the X. The green is your Y, there's your green, and then the blue is your Z. So there you go. So I know it's not specifically sequence oriented, but it is helpful nonetheless. Thanks, Mr. Irwin, for doing that. Scott Hansen added allow overriding name color palette. So I haven't been able to figure this out. If anybody wants to share this with me, I'm happy to learn it. Pierre added the ability to control, and this is August of April of 2024, last year, and these are all going back into different functions that have been added since the last video. So add the ability to control the highlight color for the bars effect. I thought this was a terrific idea. So if we have the bars effect here you can see the Tesla Tower. You can add a you can pick multiple colors. Let's just do red. Let's do red and blue, because there's a good contrast there, right? So if we use highlight, and you can see that there's a highlight color that goes across those bars there, that and then we can use a 3D on here. You can see there's a white line, and that's the highlight color of the beginning of the bar. So one of the things that they added was use first color for highlight was this. Now it's a blue bar with just a red highlight. And if we wanted to add another color, it would be a blue and yellow bar with red highlights. So the first color in your color palette now can turn into a highlight color. It doesn't look as good on this specific prop, but maybe it looks a little better on like a matrix or a mega tree. It'll stand out a little better there whenever you have pixels and lines and so forth. So that's one nice function. Daryl's just mentioned to me, Scott said basically the save as icon is what Scott added, allow overriding names of color palettes. So next is add color palette to picture assist. So this was and thanks to Daryl, Mr. Irwin, he's with us tonight now. Daryl added this from the picture effect, and I actually asked for this a long time ago whenever Gil was working on things, and he added over this is the effect assist window, and if you were doing something with a picture effect, oops, I didn't mean to dock it. There we go. Screen's so big, but that's the way it is. He added the ability to update these colors and so forth. There's this color drop down, so now you could get in here and do different things with different colors. I'm not gonna go through the picture effect, but that functionality to be able to grab those color palettes and add them to the picture effect assist is terrific, especially if you're using this to draw on for your matrix or your mega tree, which I used to use a lot of it now. Daryl added add color by word option for the text effect. Now, this is again, I don't have a matrix here. We could go make one. Let's go make a matrix. That's a bug. That's a bug. Doc. There we go. Okay, let's go make a matrix because you guys need one. We'll do the tree here, and we'll do a flat tree. There we go. Save. Go back in here. Display elements. Tree. Yeah, this box is still big. Daryl, maybe you could fix this. This box, no matter whenever you resize it, it doesn't remember it whenever you close it, and then whenever you open it again, it makes it really big. It needs a remember size added. If you would do that, please, pretty please. I blame Alex. He maximizes it. I can't stand it. It's like, oh my god, it takes up half my screen. I just need the little bitty bit. I don't need it maximized though. I never need it maximized. So, well, to each their own, right? That's what's so great about X-Lights is it fits so many different users. But a remember size would be nice, just like the preview model preview has that. But anyway, as I was saying, text effect, that's a shortcut key is the letter X. We'll put that on the tree and we'll type and we will change this to vertical text down. It doesn't fit very clearly. It doesn't fit. Let's do thin. Can we pop that up there? There we go. So we have two different words we can put in. Maybe I can fit it on there. Maybe I need a bigger tree. Let's go make a bigger tree. You guys good with a bigger tree? 100 by 32. There we go. And magically, just like that, we have a bigger tree. Hello, hi. The color palette addition that Daryl gave us was color per word. So if we wanted red and green, and red to be the first word, and typically how the text effect works is it goes every other color with every other letter, but you could do per word now, and it makes one word one color and the other word the other color. So that's a very nice addition. If you were doing text across your matrix, then that would also be very nice, especially if you were doing like Merry and Christmas and you wanted them red and green or white and red or blue and white or something. You could do that individually. Prior to that, you had to run two effects with two different colors. That was the only way to do it. So hats off to Daryl for that. Daryl did a lot of these color things. Add preference to hide color update warning. So we used to have, when when we had the update button, and I haven't tested this out, but there was a request to have a preference, file preference. I don't know if it's here. No, it's not here. It's under sequence. I can't remember where it's at. But I turned it off as soon as they added this. Other? Yeah, it could be other. No, it's not there. Maybe it's under view. Timeline, hide, zoom to cursor, disable key acceleration, group center, crosshairs. No. That's nice. That's a nice little addition. Effects grid. Hide color update warning. So this was there was a wonderful addition that was added for both when changing effects and changing colors on multiple props. I can demonstrate it here. So if I click update here, you get this update all, and there was this update button here for the colors. This is the update for the effects settings. Are you sure you want to change all of the selected effects, all the settings on these selected effects? If you hit yes, it would change it to whatever was selected here to begin with, and now we've lost what we had. If you hit Control Z, you get it back. But the same thing was available here whenever whenever you use the update button, and this little preferences menu, this is gold, because when I'm updating colors, the only time I ever update colors is whenever I am let's see, well, the only time I'm gonna obviously, if I'm changing or updating my colors, I can Control Z and revert back. So having this, thanks to Daryl for putting that in there, because that was because it's an extra button click, and you're like, I didn't mean to. I did want to do that, but for the majority of Xlights users, you don't want to turn that off. You may make a mistake. You may forget that you can hit Control Z and you can change it. Add bulk edit tag color for groups. Again, this isn't a sequence thing. This is a Xlights layout thing. If we had a group here, we could create a group, call this group 1, and you have this here. This is right click, create group, group 2. Let's say these are snowflakes, one spinners, snowflakes, it doesn't matter. You can select multiple things here, and you can I believe you can bulk edit tag color, and you can select a tag color. And what does that mean? If we give that a color over here on the display element screen, which is massive, and you bring them over, we get this little tag color here. And I've done a video on this already on the tag colors. I won't talk about this because he added this before I did the videos. Very helpful, the tag colors. Oh, I might have talked about it. Maybe I did. But very helpful if you're organizing your stuff in a certain order. I like to put everything that's on the house in blue and everything in the yard in red. Those are the two colors I used. Or maybe was it blue and red? Maybe I used green too for the really big groups. So it was just a way to visually see you had updated colors. And the last two here from Scott. Persist custom colors across color dialogues. I think we talked about that already. So if you're in, well, actually, we didn't talk about this. So if we were doing, let's say a faces, and you add a faces here, and you could do a matrix single node. I think this is the one we want. We could force custom colors. You could double click on this color box here, and it will remember those colors. And whatever colors you put into your custom colors, and you can bring them into those. And then if you went to states, here's your states. You could create a new state, and here you can hit force custom colors, and you still have that universal ability to have those custom colors that you created in the sequence show up over here. Prior to that addition, they did not do that, and it was very frustrating to go from one dialog box to another. You'd have to remember the color values, and it was kind of annoying, but thanks to Scott for bringing that up. I never asked for it. I just knew how to do it, and I just wrote it down and added them. Add RGB hex values to color tooltips. So prior to the most recent edition, again, thanks to Daryl for doing this, the ability to import a color palette is really cool. Prior to this, I was used to, if you hover over top of the color, this will actually tell you two different, in the tooltip there, it will tell you three different things. If it can recognize the color, it will give you the name of the color. And I can't point to you what it says, but it shows blue. And then above it, it has a 0,0,255. And what that means is that's the base color for the blue that we use for RGB. And then I hovered over too long and it went away. And then the last one is the numeric, or the hex number, I think, is what they might call it. And that's the number that we got from ChatGTP, is from the beginning of the class. So huge thanks to Daryl. You're in the room. Huge thank you to you, Scott Hansen, obviously, and as well as Pierre. He did some work, and so many developers do so many things. So over the years, you appreciate the things that they add in, and little things like this, and just coming to understand what the color palette can do and all the functionality that's built into it, and that it's there, that you can do different things while you're sequencing, in different effects, in different moves and motions, especially with the color curves. I mean, the possibilities of using color are endless whenever it comes to X-Lights. I'm always thrilled and surprised whenever they come up with other things that are new. I'm sure I've missed some things. If there are things that I missed in what we talked about today, you're welcome to put them in the comments below. I'm happy to go through and maybe do another video on them, maybe make it shorter and a little bit more condensed. And I know I rambled a little bit, but I think that tonight is a pretty all-inclusive trip down the color curve, the color palette box, and some of the color options that have been added to X-Lights at least over the past 3 years. So huge thank you to you guys. If you like the video, give us a huge thumbs up if you haven't done so. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, you can jump in the Zoom room with us now. We're going to move on to the Q&A session, which we don't record. If people have questions, you can go ahead and put your hand up, and then we also convert over into our open mic night session. So that's everything from me, guys. I don't see any questions in chat that needs to be addressed. I don't see anything on YouTube. Wait, I do. Poor Jason. Jason H asked a question, and I totally missed it over there. Sorry, Jason. Let me see if I can make the screen bigger and actually read what you put. You saved it. You saved it as a text file. Yeah. Yeah, he caught my mistake. Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's everything from me. Robert, thank you for getting us out to Facebook. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And a lot of people in the room tonight. Great to have you all with us. And we hope that you guys have the best week. It is July 4th. Happy Independence Day to everybody. I hope you celebrate with your friends and family. And we wish you the best. So take care for now. And we will see you next time on the next video. Bye-bye, guys.